Hello and welcome to the Tournament Organizer video for MTG Melee. I'm going to show you very quickly how to create your first event and enroll players and manipulate the rounds to get your event underway. First of all, you'll need to be logged in, so go to MTGMelee.com, make sure you are logged in and get your profile and organization information filled out. Then we're going to go over to Organizers, create a new tournament. Tournament, we're going to call it mock tournament number 3, sure. Registration end date and start date. Start should always be after your end date, but notice there's a time as well. Anytime you have a question about what you're filling out, check the little help buttons. We've got those on most lines if it tells you exactly how to put it in there. The platform is going to be how you're running the event. Are you online, MTG Arena, or you're running it locally on paper? Registration type. In this case, we're going to choose open. Anybody who can find this event can get into it. If you wanted to have invite only, you could put that up there and you would pick an entry code. We're going to go with open, and we're going to say free, meaning we don't need to restrict them coming in. The description markdown is where you're going to put all of the information for the event that the players are going to see. This will be the sorts of things you want to tell them. In this case, we're going to call it Legion Events Mock. We're going to give them a couple of bullet points of information. Let's call it best of one, no deck lists. Hi, how you doing? Anything you put in here is what they're going to see on the event. We can click the preview button to make sure it looks the way we want it to look, and come back and edit anything you don't want. Different heading sizes, bolds, italics, lots of things you can do. You can insert images, the whole 9 yards. Brand text is going to be where you tell somebody about your specific information. So this is just a mock-up. Brand image source, so if you have your logo online somewhere, you can put that in here. Note it must end with .png or .jpg, I believe is available as well. We're going to call this Legion Events Mock for our hashtag. That is what you're asking your players to, when they're talking about it on Twitter or anywhere else, this is the hashtag. This will be published with your event. Player cap, we're going to limit to 8 on this one. Why not? Team size. Team is currently limited to 1 person per team. This is called team size because in the future we will allow you to run teams of 2 or 3 depending on event types. Right now we're restricted to 1. We don't have the functionality for the team events. Round timers are exactly what it sounds like. If you want to use round timers, this is where you're going to put it in. Deck lists public mean that they're going to publish them so that when you are playing you have open deck lists. People will see them. In this case, we're going to mark the mock tournament. You are never otherwise going to want to put this because this hides it from public view. You won't be able to see it. It's only for testing. We're going to go ahead and click Create Tournament, and you're going to see it come up. That's the logo that I put in. It comes in direct at size, so you'll want to make sure you put one in that's smaller if that's not the size you want. You can see all the information. This is some of the information that's pulled from your organizer info, and then here's that information that we put in. If you see something here you don't like, you can click this edit button here and go right back to that same page and edit it. If everything looks good, you're going to click Tournament Controller. That's going to bring you to the place where we're actually going to do the stuff that we want to do. You are probably going to come down to phases first, and phases are the style of events that we're going to use. If it's just a Swiss event, you're only going to have 1 phase. If it's a Swiss plus a cut to top 8, you're going to have 2 phases. In this case, let's show you how to make a 2-phase event. We're going to click here. We're going to call this mock event 3. Pairing method is Swiss. The number of rounds, we're going to call it 3. Standard format. Sure, best of 3 works great. Begin the phase with a cut. That's almost never going to be a yes. You're never going to want to put that because that's going to tell you, that's going to have you select what you want to do to move on. And obviously, especially since this is the first phase, we won't want that. So leave that button alone. Phase is updated. You'll see it in here right now. You got a 3-round count. Cut before phase false. If you want to change anything on that, you can do it right through the edit. We're going to add a new phase, and we're going to call this one a playoff. So we're going to click that playoff, and you'll notice immediately It changes to top X players. We can tell it how many. We've only got an 8-person tournament, so let's cut to top 4. We're going to call this phase playoffs, and pairing method is playoff. Standard, again, best of 3. We're clicking the save there, and we'll move on. And now you'll see that we've got a 2-round playoff pairing. Best of 3 is in there. We're pretty close to ready to go, so we're going to hit publish. And if this wasn't a mock event, this would now be visible to players. You'd be able to see it. In that case, people would come in and register as they want. Because this is a mock and nobody can see it, we're going to have to put our own players in. This is also going to be a way that you can go in and add players if they're having trouble. Somebody can't get in. You're just trying to help people out. This is where you do that, through add player. We're just going to search for some. We've got some mock-up sort of people in here. Won't go. Did that go? Oh, there it went. Just lagged a little bit. Oh, he got in there twice. We don't want that to happen. Over here, you can modify anything. Edit that player, delete that player. We're going to go ahead and add 6 more people. Just so that we have 7 in, and then I'm going to go ahead and add myself, and this is so you can see like a real person information. There we go. So we've got our 7 players in, and again, anytime we want to click any of these buttons and deal with them. The chat button opens a chat with that player. If they are online, you will open up a chat directly to their window. Once we've got all our players in there and we're ready to go, if we were running deck lists, we would see all that information here. As people are submitting their deck lists, it'll show up here. It'll say whether they've submitted or not. We put on that we wanted to use deck lists, so this tells you that so far everybody's non-compliant. How to upload deck lists will be handled in another video on the player side. I would recommend checking that one out as well. We are going to move on to pairings at this point. And we are ready to go, so we're going to come up here and click Start. Start the tournament gets us in the spot where we can pair our first round. Select that round, that's the one you want to run, and click Pair. You'll see here it'll pop up with all the pairings for the first round. You can edit results over here, and let's say this one ends 2-3 for Harley. I don't think I could ever beat her. And that's your result. You can go do that for each one of them, or for when you're running a dummy tournament, we have this cool button here, this mock-up event, lets you put in results for all the dummies. So those have all got results now. We're going to move on to round 2. Round 2 is ready to be paired. We pair. And here we go. That's all of our results. We're going to go ahead and hit dummy results and load those all in. If you'd ever at any point in time like to look at the standings, this will tell you the current standings. That's this button right over here on the standings. Brings it up. Let's go back to the pairings. Go to round 3. Pair round 3. We're going to hit those dummy results. We got everybody in, and that's the last round of our Swiss. You'll see the next button you can pick is go to the next phase. There's also a button up here that you can go to the next phase, but this one's directly online to help you find it. And that means we are ready. We've finished this round and are ready to go to the next one. We're going to click the semifinals, and you'll remember we were cutting to top 8, so when we pair this round, it's going to cut us down to the top 4. And look at that, I made top 4. So we're going to go ahead and go push these dummy results again. And then we're going to move to finals. And we're going to pair the round. And we've got our pairings, dummy results, and Mickey Mouse beat me in the finals. That is the last round in, so we're going to come up here and we're going to click this end button right here. That ends the tournament and publishes the results. If we come back over here to the tournament details, you'll see that we have everybody in place, how they finished in top 4. You'll be able to see your standings You'll also be able to see if they would hit put in deck list. You'll be able to see archetypes and lots of other interesting data. And then you can go back through and you can look at each round of the pairings and you'll see the results on that specific round. And we'll go back to the tournament controller, and that's the end of our event. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your events.